As the issue of public unions in Wisconsin and elsewhere comes front and center and highlights the fact that so many state governments face similar economic crises as the federal government, the single most important question that must be asked is this: when the foundations are being destroyed, what can the righteous do? Who will stand in the breach, call a spade, and commit themselves to the bold, courageous reform necessary to reverse course and present a new vision for such a time as this? The president has time and again refused to exercise his unique moral authority to lead us out of the wilderness. And of course, why should he, when he's the one who took the excesses of the first half of the last decade and doubled, tripled, quadrupled down, leading us to almost unimaginable levels of debt and economic peril. The House of Representatives, even with 87 freshmen elected in the game-changing election last year, has shown a willingness to deal only with that small sliver of the federal budget known as non-defense discretionary spending, working around the edges of a mere 12% of the federal budget and likely to compromise even on that. It's no wonder that in the latest Gallup poll on confidence in our public institutions, the Congress finished dead last at 11%. 11%. So where are we to look for real leadership in this battle for our economic lives? Who will stand up, take charge, and fight for the reform we must have? The answer is actually quite clear. With newcomers Marco Rubio, Rand Paul, Mike Lee, and Ron Johnson added to veteran freedom fighters Tom Coburn and Jim DeMint, the Senate has become the center of gravity in the battle to restore sanity. But these reformers and their colleagues are still in the minority. They need reinforcements to reach a critical mass and force the issue of authentic reform. Now, as we look at the political landscape for 2012, the House is unlikely to change hands, but likewise the presidency. See, the reality is this: in the last 80 years, only twice in 12 tries, that's just 17% of the time, has a sitting president been defeated for re-election. So the odds are against defeating this incumbent, especially when his handlers have set their sights on raising $1 billion for his re-election campaign. That's why securing control of the Senate is so vital. And this does not mean control by the type of Republicans who refuse to make hard choices, spent tons of money, and were sent packing in 2006 and 2008. It means control by senators committed to bold and courageous reform. I challenge you to think long and hard about supporting and working for serious reformers in your state and others who have the courage, stature, and strength to stand in the breach. Men and women who you believe are not interested in the trappings of power and are not seduced by the ruling class in Washington, but who are truly called to service for such a time as this.